How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. I'm going to be brutally honest in this video about a lot of things, from my allocations, how much I actually have in crypto versus other assets, to what I think about the crypto market right now, where I think it's going, what I think the bear case scenario is, what I think the bull case scenario is, and some warnings, and they're not really for you, they're just for the people around you. Now, like I said, I'm going to be really honest in this video, and I'm going to show you right now how honest I'm going to be. I'm eating chips for breakfast. I'm throwing it out there so that way you realize that this is a real video that is all from the heart, which is what I do normally, but usually I'm covering a lot of news and then just small thoughts along the way. Now, I will say, this is not a sponsor. This isn't at all, but it's one of those things that's been so good, like tasted so good, it's so healthy that I've been telling all my friends and family about it. If you haven't tried these chips already, try them. They're from Quest, like the protein brand. They're not in the chip aisle, they're in the protein aisle, like protein bars and protein powder. And they have 19 grams of protein, and they're some of the best chips I've had. These are the loaded taco chips. There are a bunch of other ones too. But seriously, no affiliation at all. I just really like the chips. I'm trying to work with them right now anyways. But they're unbelievable, and they're really healthy for you too. 140 calories, 19 grams of protein, so way healthier than all other chips. Now, it is weird that I'm having them for breakfast. Part of it is because they are healthy, but part of it is also I just really need to go to the grocery store. It's been a very busy week. So with that being said, I've talked enough about stuff that's not cryptocurrency in the markets. Let's get into it. So right now, the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency hasn't been moving much. Honestly, I do think Bitcoin is going to move up in dominance, or if you don't know what that is, basically the price of Bitcoin versus the whole crypto market is going to go up. Now, that can either be that Bitcoin goes up in price and the rest of the market doesn't go up as much, or Bitcoin goes down in price and the rest of the market goes down further, or Bitcoin stays at the same level and the rest of the market goes down further. So basically, Bitcoin becomes more valuable versus these other cryptocurrencies, no matter the scenario. I think that's likely to happen over the following months, but I could always be wrong. That's how I'm positioning myself right now. I'm in crypto, I'm about 85% Bitcoin. So out of my crypto portfolio, 85% is in Bitcoin, 10% or so is in ETH, then 5% are in smaller cryptos. There are 4 that I can think of right now off the top of my head that I own: Weight token, Phantom, Polygon, and Caspa. Now, I'm not trying to pump my own bags. Honestly, I don't get enough views to do that. I can't, talk about any of these cryptos and then have them pump up anything significant, like even a couple percent, because they are large cryptos anyways. They're still in the top 100. And it's not like I'm saying to go buy them or anything like that. Like they're going to 10x overnight. So those are my positions right now. I am diversified outside of cryptocurrency. So my crypto portfolio is significant number-wise. And part of it was that I've gained wealth so differently. Like I make a ton and then it goes down, and then I make a ton and then it goes down. So it changes a lot. And because the prices are so volatile of crypto and different assets, depending on when you're looking at it, crypto can be 7% of my portfolio of my overall net worth. Sometimes it can be more than that, like 15, 20%. Right now, it is about 10% of my net worth is in crypto. Actually, a little bit more than that, maybe 15%. I should say it is 15%. But I think that that's going to change over time, because I do think that Bitcoin is going to go up pretty drastically in the following years. So it's probably going to be closer to 30%, 40, 50%. And since I do have a business that's so related to crypto, I do think diversification outside of crypto is important. So I do have more in stocks. I also just bought a real estate property this week, my first real estate property. So, that's exciting. But I am trying to diversify outside of crypto because I am so exposed to crypto and how well crypto does, because I get paid from how well crypto does, essentially. More people tune in. Now, my thoughts on Bitcoin versus the other cryptos. Bitcoin is immutable. It's unchanging. It is sound money. It's hard money. It is the future. And a lot of people say, Bitcoin's old. It's not really that important. No one really wants to use it, that kind of thing. Some people just think that because either they're too into crypto or they don't know enough about crypto. So some people that are too into crypto think that Bitcoin's boring, and some people that don't know about crypto think that Bitcoin is some like crazy, super risky investment, that kind of thing. Now, there's a lot of volatility in Bitcoin, but it is a young currency. It's a young idea. A lot of people have no idea what it is, what it does, what mining is, anything like that. And it's kind of complex when you think about it. If you're not seeing a good video or talking to someone that really knows their stuff, a lot of people, you ask them what Bitcoin is or what Ethereum is, and they can't give you a real answer. Even if they're someone that invests in cryptocurrency, a lot of them can't give you a good answer. So that's what I think about Bitcoin. I think it will move up. We'll talk about the different scenarios here in a second. So that's what I think about Bitcoin. Ethereum, I think, is the least risky of all other cryptocurrencies. I think that it will do well in the next cycle. I think that because of how they shifted to proof of stake, I don't know if it's as secure. Like, a lot of people think that proof of work is really the best possible way of setting up your cryptocurrency. And they think it was a step back for Ethereum to go to proof of stake. But I will say the incentives to keep your crypto, I think, are higher now. It is deflationary. There's less of it around. It's becoming more scarce. And if you stake it, you can actually get a pretty good yield on it. And a lot of banks are going to love that. They're going to love the yield generation part of it. I think it is pretty expensive to use. Like, I'm using, let's say I'm using some kind of DEX, some platform to trade. Uniswap, SushiSwap, PancakeSwap. I think PancakeSwap's BNB, but you know what I'm saying. I try to make a trade. I switch out $100 of crypto for another $100 of a different crypto. I could pay $10, $20 right now. And this is the bear market. So I think it's too high. I think it is confusing for a lot of people to use. So institutions will come in, right? They'll make it easier to buy Ethereum and Bitcoin. Hopefully they take out some of those spreads. Right now, there has been it's been difficult for people in the US to buy spot. Honestly, it's a weird time because a lot of us use Binance US and they had low spreads, they had low fees. But now Binance US is difficult to use, and there's no on and off ramp. Coinbase does take a large fee, and the thing is, it changes depending on your profile. Like, I was just sitting with my brother-in-law, and we put up $100 in USD and then $100 in USDC, and there are different fees for both of us. We were doing the exact same transaction to buy $100 worth of Bitcoin, and he had like a $7 fee and I had a $4 fee, which is really weird. And it's just a difficult time to be buying in the US, to get a low spread, get low fees. I do think institutions will make it easier. It will take away from some of the decentralized aspect of cryptocurrency, but it will also make it a lot easier for a lot of people that literally can't go on a DEX or can't go and transfer crypto. And now they will be able to. They'll just tell their banker in 4 or 5 years, yeah, I want to buy $5,000 worth of Bitcoin, or they'll tell their investment advisor, I want to do that, and then it'll be taken care of. Then moving down to stablecoins, I think when you look at USDC versus USDT, a lot of people ask, which one should I go into? If I have cash, which one should I hold it in? Honestly, I think both are probably fine. If I had, let's say I had a significant amount of money though, I'd split it between the two. And then I just watch them like a hawk. If there's news about one versus the other, there's some issue, then I would probably swap out. Honestly, though, I think we're far enough in this bear market or into the next bull market that I don't think they're going to have a massive problem. There are instances where they depeg slightly, but they both are cash rich right now. They both make a ton of profits. Tether's making $1 billion a quarter, and they're actually buying back Bitcoin or buying some Bitcoin with that. Now, I do want to bring that up for a second, but I think either are fine. I do like the idea of centralized players coming in, like PayPal, to offer stablecoin, because with a stablecoin, you have to realize it can be taken away, it can be frozen. You don't hold stablecoins because they're decentralized. You hold them because they are they easily move in and out of crypto. So if you want something that can't be taken away, you buy Bitcoin. If you want something to hold your wealth that's pegged 1-to-1 to the US dollar and is centralized, then you hold a stablecoin. If you don't want it to be if you don't want it to be centralized, then you're thinking about like an algorithmic stablecoin, which is still going to be somewhat centralized, but that has never worked. So I would not bet on that happening anytime soon and being positive. Now, it is interesting to me. Tether buys Bitcoin. They say that they're buying about 15% of their profits they're using to spend to buy Bitcoin every single quarter. I will say that's interesting. I was, again, talking with my brother-in-law the other day, who's also in crypto. You might actually know him on Twitter or on YouTube as Financial Success on YouTube, and then Altcoin Hero on Twitter. By the way, follow me on Twitter. If you're not already doing that, there's a link to it underneath the video. I will say, it's weird that they only buy 15%. The reason is, in my opinion, if they're making $1 billion a quarter, what would be the best thing that they could do to make themselves even bigger in the future? Buy Bitcoin. Because one, we're going to move up and Bitcoin's going to 5x or something like that. So if they buy more Bitcoin, that's great. And of course, I'm not saying that Bitcoin's going to literally 5x. I'm just saying 3x, 5x, whatever it is. They're going to make a lot of money on that investment. But then also, it legitimizes the space even more if Bitcoin moves up, right? If they're buying, let's say they're buying $1 billion worth a quarter of Bitcoin, that's going to push up the price of Bitcoin. Whether they're buying it over the counter so that it doesn't literally push up the price because they're just buying it from someone else that wants to sell, or if they're literally buying it off the market and it causes the price to go up, that pumps the rest of their bags. It also brings more people into crypto. It brings a lot of people into crypto, and then what are they going to use? USDT, USDC. They're going to use stablecoins. So there are a couple different ways that helps them. I just think it is weird that they're only buying 15%, and maybe it's because they're just being extra careful. They want extra liquidity for the next bull run. Maybe they want to invest in a bunch of low cap projects and then make a ton of money, more than a 5x or a 10x. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's that they've been so sketchy for so long, they're just playing it safe. Or maybe it's that they're buying themselves giant yachts and houses, the owners. So I'm not exactly sure, but I do think it's positive that they continue to buy Bitcoin. BNB is not something that I'd touch right now because Binance does seem like they're facing a lot of scrutiny from countries, from a law perspective. I would not touch BNB just because I don't know how much is propped up by insiders. I don't know where the exchange is going to be. I hope Binance is fine. I hope Binance US gets their on-ramps again, because I'd like to use Binance US versus all the other exchanges for spot trading. Now, if you do want to trade other cryptocurrencies or you want to trade on margin, there's a link to BITGET underneath the video. They're one of the top trading platforms. So I would check that out if you're interested. So I would not touch BNB right now. I don't think it has as much upside either as something like Bitcoin or Ethereum, but I could always be wrong. And I do think most of the exchanges that made it this long are probably fine. But again, it's just not a good thing when they have to continuously fight different countries. USDC, again, I already talked about that with Tether. XRP, they did win the lawsuit essentially, is being appealed by the SEC. It didn't pump up as much as I thought it might, but I'll be honest, I know people that are into XRP, they're into the payment cryptos, and they think it's still going to be huge. It's just a question of when banks start adopting. So I think XRP could do well in the next run. I should probably get an allocation once Bitcoin's dominance goes up. I will look at buying more alts most likely, and XRP is probably one of the ones I'll be looking at. I don't have much of an opinion on Lido staked Ether. Dogecoin, I think, could do well when Twitter or X integrates. Dogecoin integrates crypto, but who knows when that will be. Probably next bull run. That's essentially what Tesla did last bull run. They were the ones that really kicked it off. So I wouldn't be surprised if, 5 months from now, 6 months from now, they say, oh yeah, we're allowing crypto payments on our platform or something like that. Cardano, really strong community. Price is close to the low for this bear market. I think it went down to 23 cents. Now it's at 29 cents. So kind of an interesting point, but I'm not touching it right now. Solana, I also think could do really well. It's like 3x off the low though. And it's a cryptocurrency that I'm looking at for the next run too, because it is much cheaper. And I could go through a lot more, but I'm not going to, because there's some other stuff we have to talk about too. So let's move on. I think risk-wise, if you're buying something other than the top 10 or top 50, the stuff that has been proven, been around for a while, it's really risky. And that's not to say that you can't do it. I talk about some cryptocurrencies that are even smaller, some meme coins, that kind of stuff. You just have to realize that what you're doing is very risky. If you're this far into the bear market or into the next bull market, there really haven't been that many new people. So I think you can spot cryptocurrencies that are higher risk. I will say there are some people that are newer to cryptocurrency that have been watching the channel. So if you are someone like that, I do have a playlist I just set up, cryptocurrency for beginners, and just investing for beginners. I'll tag it so that you can see it in one of these corners here. But I think you have to be careful of anything smaller than top 50. I do have 1 or 2 cryptocurrencies that are outside the top 50, but that's it as of now. And I think about it kind of like I was playing on a casino game last night on my brother-in-law's phone. We were having a good time, went out to dinner, drinks, and we had played this before. We had like $20 that we put into the platform, and then we got it up to $75 last time we played, and then we got it today. Last night we played, and I think of small cryptocurrencies kind of like that. So we were playing, we got all the way down to 65 cents. We lost like $75 or something. 65 cents. Placed a big bet, had our heads about us, and then we got a little bit lucky. We brought it all the way back up to $210 within minutes. That's kind of how I think about like the small cap market. You have to have your head on a swivel. You have to be careful. You have to realize what you're doing. You have to realize the risks, and you can't get too scared when you lose a lot of money. And it should only be a small portion of your portfolio, like probably less than 1%, in my opinion. But they're kind of like that casino as well, because you play and you hope that they're not rigging the game against you from the get-go. Like, I don't know what the percentage of likelihood is. I don't know if when I place a bet on the roulette table in this online casino, that doesn't know exactly that I placed a large bet and then bet against me. I don't know that it's fair. So I hope, first of all, that it's fair. Second of all, that I get lucky. And third of all, that I can actually get my money out, that I don't get rugged. And that's kind of how I think about the small coins. Like, first of all, you have to hope that they don't rig the game against you. Like you buy pre-sale or you buy early on and then it's on a pump and then they just dump, realizing that they've gotten enough money that they're just going to rug pull. Second of all, you want to actually know that you can pull the money out. Like, some of them have high sell tax and buy tax and that kind of stuff, or they just don't have enough liquidity. They don't have enough slippage. You put up slippage too high and then you get screwed on that, or they just stack the odds against you. Or you just don't pick the right crypto, right? Maybe it's fine, they're legit, but it just does kind of crappy. So that's kind of how I think about that. So you have to realize that you are playing a riskier game. Hopefully that makes sense. And then let's go through the bullish case and the bearish case for the next year. Okay, so I think everyone thinks bullish, right? If you're watching this, you're probably bullish on cryptocurrency. The bullish case is easy. We'll talk about it in a second. But bearish case for Bitcoin. Either the spot Bitcoin ETF gets rejected, or let's say it even gets approved, but we're in recession. So it gets approved, we're in recession. The market is falling, like the traditional market is falling 5%, 10%, 15, 20, 25. People are talking about not buying Tesla at $100 because they think it's going down to 70. It's still at a 20 price to earnings ratio. And what if they stop earning as much as they do and then they have to start burning through cash because they're losing money every quarter? Google's trading at $80, $70, and then no one wants to buy it. That kind of thing, where people won't buy good assets because they're too worried about where we're going. Now, I don't think this is as likely as a bullish case scenario, but it's a non-zero chance, so I have to cover it. So the market is falling. The spot ETF gets approved. But this causes Bitcoin to either pump short term and then fall off, or not pump at all because people just don't want to buy anything risky in a recession. And we still have high rates, so you can get like a 6% risk-free rate of return with your savings account at the bank. So this causes us to then dump, and no one is actually buying BTC. So that's a bearish scenario. We go into recession, even if the spot ETF gets approved, it's kind of a sell the news event. This happened with futures ETF back in 2017. The bull case, though, I think is more likely. Everything seems to be timing itself pretty perfectly. The ETF could get approved end of the year, early next year. Same time as the Fed's probably talking about decreasing rates, right? They've pretty much stopped increasing rates now. Maybe they do 25 basis points, but it's not very likely right now. So they start talking about decreasing rates. It means probably increasing liquidity as well, printing more money, more stimulus. The elections are coming. Everyone's talking about free money here, free money there. Other central banks are printing money as well. We have some big entities continuing to buy Bitcoin, MicroStrategy, Tether, maybe a new company comes in. The adoption starts happening for real, where it's not just the spot ETF gets approved and that's it, but people are actually putting allocations in Bitcoin. Maybe it's target date funds. You go to your employer, you start working, they put you in a 401k, they start depositing 2% or 4%, and 1% of that is going to the Bitcoin spot ETF. I think that's really what's going to be the big news. Not the spot ETF getting approved, and that's going to be beneficial. There's going to be a lot of people buying that, people that know crypto or want allocation to crypto in the next bull run, people that just don't want to deal with it now. But once they start putting it in retirement accounts, they start putting it in pensions, that's going to be when the market explodes. So that's what I'd be looking for in the bull scenario. And that's where we could see a super cycle. We could see Bitcoin go up to 150, 200 grand, come back down. Everyone thinks it's a bear market. And then maybe it comes down to 100 and then just starts moving back up. We see a 10-year expansion again, 10-year bull run like we did from 2009 to 2020. And then Bitcoin never goes back down. So that's why I will be taking profits in the next bull run, probably a significant amount, even on Bitcoin. But I'm always going to keep some Bitcoin around in case of that scenario, in case it becomes the next currency. I don't want to hold zero and put all my money into US dollars and then have them devalued. So that's something I'm considering. Now, I think everyone will line up to buy Bitcoin when it moves up. Like everyone was trying to buy Bitcoin at 64,000. No one wanted to buy it at 33,000 a couple months before. So I think that's kind of how it is right now. First of all, there's not a lot of liquidity, or there's not a lot of on-ramps to crypto right now. There's been so many that have been shut off, but you can buy it. You can get your money into Coinbase and then buy Bitcoin, that kind of thing. But everyone will be lining up to buy at 35K, 40K, 50K, because right now they're not sure if we're going up or down, but when we move up $5,000, everyone thinks we're just going to keep on moving up. So I think everyone will start buying. A ton of people will buy at the top. That's my warning for you. If you're watching now, if you're buying now, don't be the person that continues to buy all the way up, right? It seems like a smart idea. Let's say we go up to 40K and you're like, okay, we could still get a 2.5x to 100K. Okay, 40K, fine. But if you're buying at 150, 200, 250, when there's only good news coming out, when everyone and their brother is talking about Bitcoin, that's going to be the time that you should really be taking profits. And hopefully you remember that to tell friends, family, when that happens, that really is not the best time to be buying. Of course, if we have a super cycle, then they might hate you for that, but that's a risk you have to be willing to take if you're going to tell them. So I would just be careful. There will be a lot of people that get pissed off, buy the top, leave the next bear market. But if you're watching this, hopefully that's not you. I don't think it's you because you're watching now. You have the ability to buy at 30K, and you have to be willing for it to go down to 20K and then continue to buy for an unknown amount of time if you're dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin right now. But I think you can do it. And just to keep your head on straight too, I love to look at this. If you're someone that feels like they're behind or that you have a long way to go, pull up a compound interest calculator or investment calculator. And take a look at this, right? If you have $100,000, maybe you don't have that much. Let's say you have $10,000 and you can invest $1,000 a month. I realize a lot of people can't do that, but if you can't invest $1,000 a month, you should probably be looking at how to make more money as well as how to invest it. But I think that's really key. If you can invest $1,000 a month, you start with $10,000 right now, you get an 8% rate of return. So not even like Bitcoin. You're not getting Bitcoin's rate of return, which is probably going to be much more than that if we're talking 5x in the next cycle. But let's say you just invest in the S&P 500, you get 8% rate of return. You're looking at $1 million after 25 years. So if you're investing right now, you're not behind, most likely, especially if you're a little bit younger. You have time. You can invest your way to a great life, at least in terms of money. Of course, you have to invest in your family and your friends. Outside of that, your own body health. That's where the protein chips come in. And let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. Let me know if you want more videos like this where I'm just real candid. I just really tell you my thoughts. Let me know if you like that down below in the comment section. Also, if you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn that bell notification so you can see future videos just like this one. You can check out all the links underneath the video to things I talked about in today's video, except for the Quest chips. I'm not sponsored by them, so you can check them out at your local grocery store, or you can go to the website. But thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.